Hello, cats and kittens, or whatever I will say, back in the Crisis Corner, in the creative corner of the Crisis Corner, subdivision of the Crisis Corner. Yeah, anyway. So, back in the Crisis Corner, and today I wanted to highlight, since my last post I posted uh, the cover art for Intrepid issue 7, and by Bruno Lima. Excellent artist, fantastic artist. I'm going to be highlighting more of his work later, but it put me to mind of basically highlighting past covers and the artists that worked on them and the concepts behind them. Working on covers, comic covers, is a love of mine. I never delegated, maybe closest was once, never delegated the concept for the covers to anybody. I always worked, hand in hand with the artist, because the cover is the first thing you see, and I really wanted it to be something, it's personal. As a writer, you want to convey the story as best you can with that cover. And as a writer, you always feel closest to the story, so you want to be a part of that concept. So I want to highlight the covers for past issues of Intrepid, and there are multiple covers to some issues. There have been multiple iterations of the book itself, so there's some ground to cover. So I want to start with issue 1. And I'm going to try as best I can not to butcher the names of these artists. And I'm also going to post links to these artists, either their personal pages where their art can be seen, or their Facebook pages, somewhere where you can see their art. Because they were these are good guys. We don't work with duds. So, yeah. And I had fun working with a bunch of these guys. We did a lot of stuff. So let's start with issue 1. This episode is going to feature the artwork of issue 1 of Intrepid. Okay, and we're going to start with one of my personal favorites, regardless of how it was received. First artist we're going to be looking at is, and I hope I don't butcher this too badly, Elizu Govea. That's how I pronounce it. Zoo, you can enlighten me on the actual pronunciation as quickly as you can. But this a cover art which will magically appear shortly, either to my left or my right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. This is circa 2004, actually, yeah, as it appears on the cover. The concept behind this cover, and also I'll bring out this is like the original Intrepid logo. If I'm not mistaken, this is Jim Keplinger. He did the logo and also the writing on the tombstone. Which again, I thought this was a pretty cool idea. The idea here is Intrepid, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, Intrepid heroes and villains, the first 7 issues of the book, is the gateway to what we call the second heroic age. Okay, it's the second heroic age. The entire first 12 issues, like the second heroic age saga. So you have the first 6 issues, Heroes and Villains, is basically dealing with the fall of the age of Guardians, which you can see clearly on the tombstone. It says Age of Guardians, RIP, rest in peace, 1974 to 2004. During that period of time, there were no heroes, a world without heroes. So it's clearly, if you can read, you can see what's going on here. All right. So it was the fall of the Age of Guardians, and what would come after the Age of Guardians? The second heroic age. All of that spelled out in the book or in the series as you go along. The idea was we start off the story with the fall of the age of the events that precipitate the fall of the age of Guardians. So you have this ominous dark sky, you have this beaten up tombstone, hasn't been cared for, the grass is high, and all of that good stuff. And it looks foreboding. Okay, so I can pat myself on the back. I think that's a pretty good idea. And the concept was carried out flawlessly. So we're at, what was that? Small Press Expo, which we did a fine job at Small Press Expo in 2004 or 5, whatever it was. And then little Jimmy comes to the table and he's like, "Oh, Mommy, I want a copy of this book," right? Mommy looks at the cover and she's like, "Oh, no, this is too mature for you," or whatever. Now, Mommy could have been right or not, but whatever. The point was, it was for the little kids. Okay, it was too foreboding and it was too ominous looking. So the parents didn't want their little kids to have it. Is that a fair assessment of the content of the book? Possibly. At that time, maybe. But the point was, maybe it was too foreboding, too dark. I don't care. I don't look behind. I don't deal with regrets. The point is, it's cool. It's cool. That's the whole point. So I don't want to hear it. So that's the first, essentially the first, technically the second Intrepid comic cover ever. So this is like history. It's cool. And it was cool, and I don't care what Mommy said. It was cool. Anyway, so that's one. Okay, so now we drag a little bit further. And the cover will be appearing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we go from foreboding to just pure awesomeness with this one. I mean, maybe it was a little dark, you know, this intimidating looking young man with the messed up nappy hair and these two intimidating looking pistols, searchlights, and it looked like something out of South Central, all right? Maybe. But the point was, issue 1 dealt with a manhunt, okay? And if you're going to have a manhunt, you have to, you know, put that over, you know, in the cover. So this was a manhunt. These guys are looking for Joseph Paxson, and he looks like somebody that needs to be hunted down. Okay, so issue 1, preamble. The hunt for this dangerous looking fella, and as you read issue 1, you can't tell whether this man is good, bad, or whatever. All you know is he's dangerous. He defeated 137 people, armed military men. First of all, he woke himself out of a coma at will. How? You know, that's a separate issue. We'll get to that later. But he woke himself out of a medically induced coma and defeated 137 cats, initially with his bare hands, until he took their weapons. He said those weapons he didn't have. He was laying on a gurney in a coma. He took their weapons and shot down them helicopters that you see there and then left. Took off to go do whatever it is he wanted to do. That's gangster. And the cover is gangster. All right, so who are we dealing with here? We're dealing with the art of... At this point, it was the art. We were working with Atlantic Studio at the time. We were working with the art of Mats Ingestin, I guess. I'll put the link to his page. But Mats did great work. He did really good work on that book. Atlantic Studios, we had our issues with them, but that's interesting. So, and I'm gonna say it's Ingestin. Then again, I like it. I think it's cool. We shot the concepts back and forth. He came up with this. It's kind of sparse, mostly black, but you know, it's just the searchlight, the guns, the whatever. And Paxson looks just deadly. I mean, he looks deadly. That's in my opinion anyway. I thought it was great, and it worked. For the most part, it worked. I mean, look at it. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's 2.0. Intrepid 1 cover 2.0. Let's go to 3.0. which will be appearing on your screen in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Now we fast forward to basically the current cover. They're different versions. There's a darker version, this at night, and this version, which is just pretty much the same guy from the last version defeating these, mooks. He's just beating them up. They're guys, they don't have any, special. They're soldiers, true, but they're just guys, and they're getting crushed. They're getting crushed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. All of them get smashed because he's escaping. It's a manhunt, but this is less the manhunt concept than the beatdown, because he beats them down. All of them, 137, I think, guys, just lays waste to them and leaves. And yeah, and so you're getting that flavor. And the art here we're dealing with, and I'm gonna butcher my boy's name, Osvaldo Pestana, last name Montpellier, or whatever, Montos, boss artist. And he was 1 through 6, issues 1 through 6 of the current iteration of Intrepid. The trade, that's Montos, and he crushed it. I mean, just look at the book. I mean, look at the cover, look at the book. He crushed. The artwork got better and better and better as the series went on, and issue 6 was just sick. 5, I think, is my favorite, but he crushed it. And so there again, the concept is just a beat down, laying waste to these mooks and walking off. Brilliant. Now we're gonna go to 3.5, still by Montos. It'll appear on your screen in 3, 2, 1, shoo. Okay, this concept was basically taken from a segment of issue 1 where Annabella Scorsleone, Bella, is in her simulator fighting against zombie Nazis and the devil's robot. And again, this was crushed. Montos just crushed it. You got the zombie Nazis. This is all simulated, like holodeck in Star Trek. It's just simulated enemies that she's defeating while she's, going over, ruminating over some things in her mind. And I love the power signature that he put on it. It stands out against the blackness behind her. And the devil's robot looming in the background. She crushed him too. That was cool. And that's that concept. So in all, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 renditions of basically the concept for one issue. And I'm cool with any of them. Yeah, I'm cool with any of them. I'm thinking I like the Bella cover probably the best, because it might be the most dynamic of any of them. Although Matt's version got a little, I kind of like Matt's a little bit too, just because of that first the angle, that worm's eye angle looking up with the helicopters, the searchlights in the background. It looks boss. To me, it looks boss. But like I say, I'm fine with any of them. And those are the concepts and designs for issue 1. Next up will be issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, this is just the little inside look at the inner workings of in the Crisis Corner concepts, covers. Let you know the mind behind the madness. That's it for now. Get back to you soon. That's about it. So stay loose.